Hi there, hi, it's Liz Davis here again. As things just get weirder and weirder, we have to adapt as best we can to what's going on. Um, Obviously, our anxiety and overwhelm can get a bit out of control at times. And if you're someone who does suffer from gut problems, then this is obviously not fantastic for you. So, as well as focusing on your immune health, which I did a video about last week, so do check that out because I had some tips there on how you can keep yourself feeling, really help your immune system to do its job as best it can. I thought I would give you some tips on how to keep your worry and anxiety under control as well, because things are uncertain, and this is not great, but we can do what we can um, on the inside to keep ourselves as resilient as possible. So straight in then, first thing I would do is, if you are prone to anxiety and worry, then really try and limit your caffeine intake a little bit. It's also important not to put yourself under too much pressure as well, because there's enough pressure going on as it is. But if you can kind of cut down on your caffeine intake a little bit, that will probably make you feel a lot better. I think it's something like 50% of the population unwittingly are not great caffeine tolerators. So if you don't tolerate it that well, then it's not going to make you feel fabulous. There are a few good substitutions you can make actually. Green tea is a good one. It's still got caffeine in it, but it's also got substances in it which make you feel very calm as well. So you still get your caffeine, and it will kind of calm you down a little bit. So it is a nice one to try if you're feeling a bit more anxious, but you still worry about getting enough caffeine. Another good switch you can make is red bush tea. It tastes very similar to ordinary tea. It's not exactly the same, so I wouldn't go in thinking it's going to be exactly the same, but it is a good substitute. It does taste quite a lot like ordinary tea. And then if you do find yourself getting very jittery or overthinking or worried or anything like that, chamomile tea is absolutely your best friend. Chamomile tea is just amazing. And that would be a good one to keep stockpiled in your cupboard. Keep a couple of boxes of that on hand, and have 2 or 3 cups of it if you need to, but it really is lovely for making you feel incredibly relaxed. So the second thing I would recommend doing, although we are supposed to be social distancing and everything, as it stands, we can still get out and about in fresh air, just avoiding crowded places. So I would take full advantage of that while we can. And what I will be doing, I think, instead of meeting for coffee or drinks or anything like that, is maybe meeting with friends to go for a walk in, hopefully, countryside ideal, or the beach or parks, anything like that, while we can, just to get out and get some exercise. This is great for your anxiety and worry, definitely. Also great for helping you sleep. You need to get out and get fresh air in order to be able to sleep properly in the evening, at night rather. So it will, give your mood a boost, and you need that light. So instead of just staying indoors all day, definitely I would get out and as much as you can still. So that brings me on to my next point, which is sleep. So really, if you're wanting to boost your immunity, make sure you get plenty of sleep. So focus on that, and because that's when the body's going to be repairing itself and fighting off infections. So sleep, super important. So also magnesium. Magnesium is also known as nature's tranquilizer. So I think we'll all be needing a lot of that at the moment. And you can find magnesium in foods like dark green vegetables and avocados, nuts, seeds, and tinned fish. I think another thing worth keeping a supply of indoors is definitely tinned fish. So mackerel, sardines, salmon, things like that. Because they do have magnesium in, they've got protein, your omega-3 fats, so they're a good one to keep a supply of in case you do have to self-isolate for any length of time. The next thing I would do is magnesium baths, because we seem to absorb magnesium much better through the skin. So you can get these big bags of magnesium bath salts in, they often have them in TK Maxx and Home Bargains and shops like that quite cheaply. So there's another thing, it wouldn't hurt to keep a supply of indoors, because if you do find yourself getting very overly anxious about things, a quick magnesium bath will work wonders. You'll feel so relaxed after that, especially if you add a couple of drops of lavender in or anything. It's really a very good one. So the next thing I would do is, again, without putting yourself under too much undue pressure, is to avoid very high carb sugary food. Because what happens is, you will eat your, say you have a donut or something, your blood sugar is going to go sky high. 2 hours later, it's going to crash. At the moment it crashes, you're going to feel horrible. And that's often when we do start to get panicky, jittery, anxious. It's not so much because there's anything going on externally, but inside our blood sugar's just taken a plunge, and our bodies are then crying out for some more fuel to run on. So you could probably quite often hear people referring to this as feeling hangry, which is a really great description. So what I would do is, if you, definitely try and avoid too much sugary food, because it doesn't have any nutrients in it either, so it's not particularly good for you at all. So avoid those as much as you can. But then when you do eat foods, try and avoid having too much carbohydrate food on its own. So that would be things like big sandwiches, so lots of bread, pasta dishes, white pasta, white rice, things like that. Always have some protein food with it. So by protein food, I mean stuff like chicken, fish, lentils, chickpeas, maybe some plain natural yogurt, that kind of thing, because that will stop your body kind of absorbing too much carbohydrate in one go. And then again, you're avoiding that big kind of spike in blood sugar and then that plunge, which will make you feel horrible. Okay, so, and definitely avoid energy drinks, that kind of thing, because then you've got a double whammy going on there. You've got ever such a lot of sugar and ever such a lot of caffeine, so will probably make you feel jittery. So I just do a quick recap then of those. So yeah, avoid too much caffeine. Good time to try out some different sorts of teas, so mix them up a bit. Green tea, red bush, chamomile are fantastic. Anything that you find that's relaxing. Get out and about as much as you can while we can. Fresh air. The National Trust has just made everything free, so that's a good opportunity to get out and try out some of their locations. Magnesium baths, and magnesium rich foods and protein rich foods as well. Okay, so I'll leave it at that for now. I will come on, I'll be on social media a lot in the coming weeks to give you some hints and tips and recipe ideas and things to keep you feeling really good and keep you resilient at this time. And if you know anybody else who you think would benefit from this, then do please share it, get the word out there. And yeah, other than that, I shall be around and about. I'll hop on again next week and do another video. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And if you do need to speak to me, I shall put a link to my diary in the comments. So if you are worried about your health at the moment and you do want to boost things for yourself, I do tend to work all the time on Zoom at the moment anyway, so you don't need to worry about leaving the house or coming and seeing me face to face. Everything's online. Okay, so I'll leave it there for now. I don't want to overload you. But yes, I shall see you soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye.